Class is back in session and welcome back to the building blocks of personal finance. Today I'm incredibly excited because we are going to be going over the two most fundamental building blocks to not only personal finance and money management skills, but really any time that you actually have a goal in mind. These are the two fundamental things you must do in order to be successful in accomplishing those goals. Now, the very first building block is developing a what. So actually having a real, tangible goal in mind. And the second building block here is actually developing an incredibly strong why, which is simply just the reasoning for having the goal that you have in mind. Now, I can already see it. Many of you are probably sitting there already saying, this is not important. I'm gonna shrug this off. Why do I need to do this step? But let me be the absolute first to remind you that these two blocks are the most important blocks to any foundation that you're building when it comes to accomplishing a goal. Reason being is simply because life always happens, and when it does, most people tend to just give up on themselves. So if you ever find yourself in a financial pinch, you have no idea what you're actually trying to achieve nor why you're doing it, the first thing that you're actually going to do is, of course, give up. Now, for those of you who actually have a real goal in mind and a very strong why, that's a purpose. And people with purpose do not give up. They continue to trek down the road that they're going. Regardless of what is thrown their way, they make it through to the end. So it's here I'll just stop to share a quick story in saying that I used to work at a gym. It was one of my very first jobs out of college, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the fitness space. I loved motivating people to accomplish their goals. And so one of the very first things that I found out early on is establishing that what and why are the most important things regardless of whatever goal that you're trying to accomplish. And so what would happen is essentially people would walk through those gym doors, these prospects. I would go up, I would introduce myself, I'd bring them back to the office. Now at that point in time, my ownership gave me a packet that was essentially just a questionnaire detailing out who this person was, what their goals were, where were they now, or did they have experience working out? Questions, honestly, that didn't really matter, right? These people were here now at the gym with a goal in mind, and my job, I discovered, was simply to understand what their what was and why they were here to accomplish it. So I would simply sit them down and say, hey, Mr. Prospect, I'd pull out that packet and I'd say, I'm gonna be honest with you here. My company wants me to go over this entire packet with you. But am I going to do that?
Absolutely not.
I don't want to waste your time nor mine. But what I do need to understand is what exactly you're doing here. And I'd spin that piece of paper around, I'd push it their way, and I'd always get some arbitrary, unspecified goal, right? I want to lose a few pounds. I want to get some energy back. I just want to be active. That's not a real goal, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is a goal that was set up to already make you fail in whatever it is you have in mind. Of course, I would go on to inform this prospect that we need to actually establish a goal. I would say, of course you want to lose a few pounds, but how many pounds do you want to lose? Of course you want to get energy back, but when it comes to energy, you want to lose weight, and if so, how much? Do you want to gain muscle? And of course, if so, how much? Now, once I'm able to grab that goal, I would write it down, I would circle it a bunch of times. I would say now arguably is the most important question. And I would write why. And I'd spin the paper back around and pass it to them. It's here that once again, I'd get this look on their face that says, what do you got going on, buddy? I have no idea. Why am I actually here? And I would spin the paper back my way. And I would say, you see, Mr. Prospect, I actually want you to hit your goal. I want you to be successful. And so in developing a why, because there will be days that you're going to come here and you don't want to work out. You don't even want to get in the car to come to the gym. But in developing this very why, it's going to give you a purpose to actually accomplish this goal. It would finally come to the point in which this particular prospect would give me a real answer. Perhaps I want to lose weight so I can feel good, feel confident about myself and wearing these clothes. I want to get my energy levels back, get more muscle so I can play with my kids, feel like I did years ago. Those are real whys. Whys that are not only going to drive us to our goal, but actually allow us to surpass them. Now here we are, me and you, ready to establish an actual goal and have an actual why for doing what we're about to do when it comes to our finances. So the very first thing I want you to think about is just what's important to you. Once you've actually established what's important to you, go ahead and write that down. A few lines below that, we're gonna write why. And it's here I want you to actually get real with yourself. Get deep, be intentional when it comes to this goal, because this is the why that is going to allow yourself to accomplish the very goal that you have in mind. Now, it's also here I want to go ahead and implement the SMART goal strategy, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relative, and timely. So that's to say you want to have a very specific goal that you can actually measure your progress in a timely manner. So hypothetically, if I wanted to be a millionaire, I can't just become a millionaire overnight. It really just doesn't happen that way, unfortunately. But what I can say is becoming a millionaire is an achievable goal as long as I set myself up for success. And so in setting ourselves up for that success, congratulate yourself because you've already taken the initial steps just by joining this very class, the building blocks of personal finance. But moreover, in terms of that SMART goal approach, we have to be incredibly specific, right? So $1 million is what we're aiming for. And now we need to set ourselves up by allotting enough time in between ourselves and that goal to actually achieve it. So let's take $1 million and push it out 10 years from now. And now we can work in increments. So every single year, how much money are we going to need to earn and save in order to reach by 10 years that $1 million mark? $100,000 every single year. Now, of course, you can go even further by breaking the year down month by month. So you're gonna need $8,333 a month to get up to that $100,000 mark per year. And then over 10 years, again, you have that $1 million mark. The point is you are breaking down these lofty goals into very achievable, smaller, short-term goals. And so once you continue to achieve and reach those smaller short-term goals, you refuel yourself, you get that energy back, and you keep moving forward until you smash through your lofty goal. So if I were you, the very first thing I would do is just test out this SMART goal approach by implementing it in different areas of your life, or even right now in your financial journey, just by saying, hey, every month I'm gonna try to save $100 more, or on a weekly basis, I'm gonna save $20 more. And implement the SMART goal approach. It's very specific, you can measure it, and of course, these smaller goals are more achievable. And now we are ready for class number 3, as we're gonna be jumping right into the topic of conversation, which is net worth and how to actually calculate your net worth. So class, I'll see you there.